We finally got it. We're ready to rock and roll. TCL Media pulling up on Big LUZE today. What's the name of the building, my brother?
It's Andrew Friedman home, located in the mid-Bronx.
And what's your name?
Kelly Covington, born in Kings County Hospital in Brooklyn. Native New Yorker, grew up in Manhattan, Amsterdam houses, and then I sharpened my swords in the Bronx. So I've been in the Bronx off and on since 90.
Since 90?
Since 90.
You would have been about, what, 20, 25?
25.
25. What part of Brooklyn did you come from? Did you grow up?
East New York. I was in East New York. It's a crazy story. My mother had just moved from Memphis, and we went to my cousin's house and came home and realized, like, we got robbed. Like, you know, old Brooklyn. They took everything. I mean, they left us a couple of spoons and shit. But
you said a home invasion?
No, we weren't there. We were across town in Canarsie. Thanksgiving. Came home, everything was gone, bro. And so my mother was like, fuck Brooklyn. And that's how we ended up in Manhattan. So I was in Manhattan since I was about 3 or 4, you know, in Amsterdam houses.
Where's that?
That's it's kind of like the start of the Upper West Side, which is 64th Street, 63rd through 64th Street. It's right over by LaGuardia High School is right across the street. And next to LaGuardia High School is Martin Luther King, which is where I graduated from. And it's funny because LaGuardia was, you know, that was an art school, you know, dance school. King is where they sent all the rejects, you know. King is where they sent all of the people that like, your option is this or jail or Spofford, you know what I mean? So I was in, when I was in Martin Luther King, it was different because that was when the basement smelled like weed every morning.
In the high school?
High school. This is early 80s. Early 80s. Now Martin Luther King is like a real reputable school, you know. And
Are you saying they were smoking in the school?
In the school, in the basement. The whole basement would smell like weed. It was normal. You know, and I went to other high schools and whatnot, and I was like, nobody smoked weed in the school? And they were like, no. No way, hell no. You know, King was like one of those last resort schools. Like you got kicked out of this high school, you got kicked out of this high school, so they sent you to King.
Was the school we got like that? We got a couple of those in the Bronx, right? Satellite Academy, right?
Right. In that ballpark, yeah.
Gotcha.
It was like last call before Spofford.
When did you pick up to start doing graffiti in Brooklyn?
No, actually, I started in Manhattan, and like everyone starts out as a toy, and I was the king of the projects. You know what I'm saying? Like I was
the king toy of the projects.
King toy of the projects. Yeah, I was like honing my skills in the projects. You know, and then my man Westo and Risk, they were like, "Yo, you got to step up your game." And I'm like, "What you mean step up my game?" I'm like, "You got to start writing on these trains, bro." I'm like,
what year is this?
83, 84. And they took me to the yards, and I thought 145th Street and Broadway. It's Broadway is 2 tracks, and then it flares out until about 10 tracks. And they stored all of these trains in there.
This is a layup?
Yes, huge layup.
Where's this at?
145th and Broadway, under the McDonald's under there and all that shit.
Can we go over there? Is it possible to still get in there?
Oh, hell no. Hell no. It's funny, we used to go every weekend, Friday to Sunday. One weekend we went.
Time out.
Sure.
What year was this?
83 through 86. And we was in there almost every weekend. And it was funny because...
Yo, what y'all hitting the insides?
I used to kill the insides. I used to murder them joints. The rest of my crew, they was doing the outsides. They would West and Zier, Zane, Risk, they were tearing the outsides up. We were pulling out cars every weekend. And we were like real prolific with it, you know. And not only that, we had concepts. You know, that we would do the Flintstones one weekend, and then we'll do Woody Woodpecker this weekend, and it was all themed, you know. And One weekend we went. It's funny. I remember we were. It was the greatest. The greatest summer was. What summer did the show come out? Dougie Fresh.
Was it that far back?
Yeah.
Wow.
Every car that drove by, you can hear in the grates. And we're fucking painting and whatnot. And this is the summer. So then around September rolls by, and I go to do what we do, and I hear click, click. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Click, click. Move back. I said, oh shit. These motherfuckers got motion detectors in here. So we ran up.
What year?
This is 86 and a half. 86 and a half. So we heard the motion detectors like, yo, they know we're here. So we ran up out of there and we went to the McDonald's upstairs. We're sitting in McDonald's. That was when they had transit cops. It wasn't just police. They had transit cops. And a transit van pulls up and all of these cops jump out like fucking Keystone Capers. And they go running downstairs. And if we wouldn't have left, they would have got us. And that's when we realized that was the end of that era. And that's when it started. It was like that with almost every line. Like dudes, they were rage. You know, cops was like, they got hit to us. And any yard you went to, you know, Zariga, like that shit was dead. You know.
Motion sensors came out. So in the late '80s, you're saying?
Yeah.
So that came first, and once y'all seen that, I knew it was a wrap.
It was a wrap. And plus, and that was when they started bringing the silver bullets, the silver trains, and they were like, "Nah, we spent a lot of money on these trains. Yeah, y'all can't have this," you know, which is odd because fast forward to 2024, these cats are murdering those silver trains, and I'm like, they got the biggest balls, or they know some spots that we don't know about. Because right now you can catch one of those, a silver bullet with a top to bottom, all 10 cars today.
And why?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Who's doing that? What artists are doing that?
The ironic part is artists I never heard of.
Right.
Like these European cats, they have no fear.
They pulling up. Okay.
They have no fucking fear. You know, because the cops thought like, you know, you let your guard down and da-da-da. And these cats are coming in from Europe or out of state. And they have no concept of consequences, you know, because I know dudes who went after the fact, you know, 2013, 2015, they got caught and they were in jail for a minute and their bail was dumb high. You know, it's like, you got crack years for writing on the trains, you know, so New York cats, we ain't doing that.
Right.
But these cats have no concept of it, you know, and and not to mention these guys, it's amazing how these guys do it today. Not one dude works on a piece and another dude works on this piece. They work on one piece together.
I've seen that shit.
Yeah.
Be like 5 dudes doing a big
one piece. And fill up the whole train, and it's like military
discipline, like a
discipline.
Right.
You know, it's crazy now. Yeah, man. It's a concept that like we didn't even think of that back in the day. We was like, yo. Because we were like MCs. We were like, yo, you didn't actually say it, but like, yo, we battling. I'm going to burn your piece. My piece going to cook yours. Even though we were the same crew, we're like, nah, I'm gonna hit him with this. Mm-hmm. I'm going to hit him with this. I'm going to put the bricks on the back. You know, I'm going to do this, you know, da-da-da. I'm going to put some stars in it he don't even know about. Granted, we're the same crew, you know. It's like, you know, you take your script and you put it to the side.
You pretty sure that everybody had the same mentality?
Oh, yeah.
It had to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Once in agreement, I mean, my crew, we were like, yo, we're going to do this shit together.
What's your crew?
Phame City, FC crew, which is established in 1982.
Phame City. Who's the, what would you call that, the leader or the founder?
The leader was Westo.
Westo?
Yeah, he's a prolific dude. And he was like, he had precision when he did it. You know, he didn't go back and cut. He just one strike, blah 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 blah. He was an assassin with it.
Westo, if you're '69 Westo is older than you, younger than you.
Westo, I think he was like 3 years older than me.
Is he still around?
Actually, he's still around. We had our 40th anniversary this year, and so my man Neo has a huge wall in Hackensack, and it's three parts, but it's like 40 feet high. So we rented scaffs, lifts, and all of that, and we did a 40th anniversary wall, not a piece, a wall, and the concept was together. You know, the concept was together, and we were out there the entire weekend.
Right.
And when we finished it, not we, I ain't paying, I was under the weather. But I was chilling there. I was like, yo, we had the vodka, we had beers, had the jerk chicken and mac and cheese, you know, burning up in the sun. And it was funny because my man is passing around a phone, you know, FaceTime, and it was Djinji. And it was funny. Sorry.
It's okay.
And it was Djinji, and we all spoke to him. Yo, what up, nigga? Da, 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 da. And it was amazing because he's talking to us from Miami, you know. And it was like our thing was always unity. You know, we literally had meetings, and we had this park on the Upper West Side called FC Park, and we had meetings, and we planned shit out. You know, we're gonna go in this way, do this, da 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 da, and we're gonna get in and get out. You know, so, and this was the great part about it. We hit it all weekend, and then Monday morning, we'll go to 125th and Broadway stop. It's the outdoor elevator stop, no columns, no nothing. So, and you get a crispy shot of the car you worked on all weekend. So I was the kid that. When the train pulled into the station, I was a little asshole. Now that I look at it in hindsight, I was the kid when the train pulled in. They were like, "Yo, there you go, there you go." I would run into the train and pull the emergency brake, and that way everyone can take pictures, take perfect pictures. You know, you're not chasing the train down the platform. You know, and we were like real precise with it. You know, we planned shit out.
Usually after you pull emergency, how long will it take before they're able to move the train again?
To regenerate, it was like 15 minutes.
Right.
And it was, I think about it now, like a lot of people are late to work because of me.
How to get that pic though?
Yo,
how to get those pics?
we got photo albums, you know. Westo got a killer photo album, man. He's like, because not all of us can afford cameras back in the day. You know, it's not like today, everybody got a camera in their pocket. You know, you had the 110s with the big flash bulb that stuck up.
I remember it.
And you had to drop off the roll and come back in 2 days and whatnot. You know, and it was crazy because West had got a job in a film development spot. Was it Filmex? I forgot what it was called. So as soon as he got his film, he was just developing them joints, and we had our film immediately. You know, and it was funny, man, because when you work at one of those photo development spots, sometimes you'll see some photos of some shit that you ain't supposed to see. You'd be like, I'll take that. Right. See some nudies, you're like, oh, I'll take that.
Name some members of FC.
Zane, Zir, West, Djinji, of course, Neo, Totem. Shit, I'm having a brain fart now, because we got an army. Cause, Cess. I gotta stop saying but yeah, it's a lot of us, man.
Wayne.
Wayne is he's prolific, man. He's a prolific dude. Wayne still gets busy today.
I've seen some stuff recently he did in Jersey. Mm-hmm. Are they? I've been seeing. Is there a big movement from New York artists going to New Jersey and putting work in?
Jersey is more. It's an abundance of walls, and people are like, "Yo, you're doing me a favor if you paint this," you know, because that little scribble with the throw ups and all that stuff. They don't want to see that. They want to see like a full piece, you know, characters, colors, palm trees, all of that shit. So they're more forgiving of that. Whereas in New York, they're like, no. Or if you do a piece in New York sometimes, it's gone in a week.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. And that's why the thing now is like, you're asking dudes for, yo, I'll paint your truck for free. And so now the big thing out here is trucks. Trucks, or you let people know, like, I'll paint your grate for free.
I've been wondering about that. I've been seeing that lately. And I
Yeah.
wondered if they were getting permission or what was going on. If they actually paid them. They're like, yo, they ask and they're like, nah, get ill. You're beautifying.
Some people get paid, like my man Andre Trenier. He's a beast, boy. He's a beast. He gets paid on most of his joints, you know, rightfully so, because when he touches it, he brings up the real estate on that motherfucker.
Tell me some of the stuff that he's painted in the city so I can go get some photographs.
Oh, he owns Yankee Stadium. You got
That's his art.
161st right here. He owns that.
In the tunnel
The tunnel,
of the old players, that's him?
the gates, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he owns that, you know, and he's nasty.
What's his name?
Andre Trenier.
Trenier? He has a
Yeah.
graffiti name or he's just an artist?
That's his name. He's like, oh, he's Stomp.
Oh,
Stomp. Stomp.
okay, he's ill. Okay.
Yeah, his scale is crazy. One time, I helped him paint the Kevin Durant wall in the Lower East Side. 5 stories, bro. 5 stories. Kevin Durant came out and he was like, oh shit. Because he did a picture of Kevin Durant dribbling 2 balls from the back, pause again. And it was crazy. Like, he painted a building, you know, top to bottom on the side of a school. And it was funny. We went to the big lift, and the dude dropped the lift off at the wrong spot. It was on 11th Street and Avenue A. And the dude was like, I don't care, I gotta go. So in the middle of rush hour, I'm driving this lift down Avenue A at 11th, turn it around 11th Street, driving this lift, and then bring it into the schoolyard. And Andre was like, yo, bro, you wild. He's like, is there anything you can't drive? I'm like, nah.
You got a CDL? You have a CDL?
No, I have a, no, the only thing I got is OSHA. But when I worked with, working with the Motion Picture Union, that's mandatory. They test you on all of that. Forklifts, cherry pickers, all that's, you gotta, if you don't get your union card unless you go and take a test to drive all of these lifts. And I drove everything. I drove everything, bro. And you know, like when I worked on John Wick 3, we had this lift that it went up to like the 8th floor. And so I had to lift it up and bring up some fire hoses on this lift. And
You talking about a lift from ground level all the way up to 8 stories?
8 stories with fire hoses. Because we had to do a wet down and all of this stuff. It was the pigeon coop scene. And it was wild because like you're up there. And sometimes when you're doing it, it's like, you know, it's rocking back and forth and like your stomach get tight, you know, your sphincter get tight. You're like, oh shit. And that was what we had when we did the anniversary wall. We had lifts, we had scaff, we had everything, you know. And some people just figure it out. I mean, it's not really hard, you know. The instructions are just like, you know, up, down, forward, backwards, So it was a great skill to have because we did that Durant wall, and it was massive, bro. I'm pretty sure it's still there.
Where was this? Where is this?
11th and A.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing here? What are you doing in your studio?
Well, I've been here since 2015, and it was a collective. We had a photographer, we had a percussionist, we had seamstress, Gabe with the silk screen, and it was just like it was a workspace for starving artists. You know, like we ain't paying no rent. You know, things like, you know, it was just like out of generosity. And what we do is we volunteer. Like I was teaching kids artwork, you know, every summer. You know, I had these art classes for kids, you know, because you know these kids are around here, they ain't got shit. You know, and I would supply the kids with the art supplies, sit them down, and they were fascinated. You know, they were fascinating. One time I did the wall downstairs, and I had the kids painting. I wasn't painting. I let the kids paint, and it was fascinating. It was great, you know, things like that. So we volunteered to be in this workspace. Well, everyone did something, but Walter Pierre, very generous dude, man. He gave us the space to work, and this space is like very therapeutic to me because I have a space to work, you know, and it encouraged me to do more artwork. You know, and like I said, we got the ballroom downstairs, which me and Serve had a show, and it was spectacular, spectacular. You know, it's like if you wanted to do the same thing anywhere else, it would cost you thousands and thousands of dollars. You know, you want to do an art show on Washington Street, you better have your wallet out. You know, whereas we rocked it here, got the lawn outside, so we were just chilling, and we did a great show. And then we have all of the walls surrounding the building. So we in the summertime, we get busy. In the summertime, we out here. And we have artists from all over the world that's out here painting with us, you know, because like we're not, spread the love, you know what I mean?
No question. Yeah, I seen you got art all around the whole building. I see some of the painters chipping. Are they going to chip it down and have some new art put up?
Yeah, we did the piece right before COVID.
Okay.
So it's weather beat. You know, usually we change the wall every summer. But after
the wall around the whole building?
No, for the most part for the front face.
Okay.
The back, we saved that for us. You know, and that's pretty much like predominantly an FC wall.
Okay.
Every summer, the whole crew comes out and we just demolish that wall. That's why that wall is still standing today, because it's not like it's a bunch of tags and throw-ups. If it's a bunch of tags and throw-ups, it's going to be anarchy. You know, everyone's going to be there. Where if they see something official, they're going to be like, you know what, stand down. You know.
They're planning to start this one in the summer, you said?
We usually rock in the summer, you know. But that wall in the front has to be redone, and I was thinking about putting together basically build my own crew, you know, handpicked, put that together and rock that, because I know some phenomenal dudes who would love to rock, and that's a huge wall, you know, because with the wall we did with Shy Rock. We did a wall that was the one we did with Kool Herc and Shy Rock. It was me, Scheme, Serve, and Andre Trenier. And so the thing that made that so dope was you can see the variations of style, but in the same time we made it cohesive. You know, everyone did something that contributed to his, that contributed to his, that contributed to his. So the wall looked like a mosaic Bronx themed wall, you know, and it was old school graph, Shy Rock on one end, Kool Herc on the other end, and like I said, Andre Trenier is a monster. So he did that shit, and Shy Rock came by, and she was like, because it's an old Shy Rock picture of her when she was rocking the mic on stage, and he did that shit perfectly, bro. And she came by, and she got out of one of those Mercedes vans, and she was like, get the fuck out of here, you know? And they were blown away.
That's dope.
Yeah, they were blown away. And also you have Grandmaster Kaz. When we had the Kaz wall, well, the wall's down there right now, decaying. But Kaz would come over with like I think it's called the Kaz Tour. And he comes with a top of the line bus with tourists and people and da-da-da. And like you see all these people milling out of the bus, taking pictures, da-da-da, they get in front of it. And a lot of these people didn't even speak English, but they love the art. They love the art.
That's dope.
Yeah.
What's one of your best memories of graffiti in general?
Probably the first time I went to the Graffiti Hall of Fame. I was in junior high, so that was probably like, I want to say 82, 83. Mm-hmm. And that was when Scheme had did the whole wall. And he was the one that made that coined that, Graffiti Hall of Fame. And it was
What you mean Scheme did the whole wall?
him and Dez, K-Slay. They did the whole wall down there.
In the inside when you walk into the park?
Yeah, yeah. They did the whole wall. And then part one, TDS, who was a veteran in the game. He's been painting cars since '74 maybe. And Scheme did the Graffiti Hall of Fame. He had a dude playing basketball, had a crown in between, and to this day, that's the place you want to paint at. You know, if you want to say, you know, I honed my game in, I painted at the Graffiti Hall of Fame before. Like, people want the honor of saying that. You know.
What time? When is the next Graffiti Hall of Fame celebration?
I think it's usually like the end of July, and it's usually big. I mean, it's like break dances, merchandise, the who's who of who painting, you know, and it's huge. You know, before it started out as a ragtag type of thing, but then it evolved into like this shit. Like when I went last year, it was MCs that was there, you know, rappers were showing up. All of the best artists were there.
They parlayed it with the 50th year of hip hop, right?
Yeah, that was a contributing factor.
Yeah.
You know, and everyone was doing Tats Crew. They did murdered 50th anniversary walls. You know, everyone did the 50th. You know, and it was like a subtle battle. You know, whose 50th is going to be better? Whose 50th is going to be nicer? You know, and it was everywhere, bro. It's everywhere. 5 boroughs. 5 boroughs.
Yo, I appreciate you taking some time out to chop it up with me for a little bit.
Nah, it's
you know
my
what I mean?
honor, baby.
You know what I mean? I really do appreciate it. I ain't gonna take up too much more of your time. I'll probably have to come back over and get some shots. You know what I mean?
Of course, always welcome.
You know,
Red
you said
carpet.
you wanted to speak about the building going through a situation with the renovation.
Yeah, it's going through major renovation. They said it should be finished by like the end of June. So that's why we kind of like, I basically got to move all of this stuff out of here and figure out what I want to do with it, you know, for 2 months, which is not that hard because there's plenty of space in the building where I can just tuck all of this. It's just a matter of motivating myself to get it done, you know?
Okay, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Motivation is everything. Again, I'm not going to take up too much more of your time, man. I appreciate
My
you.
pleasure,
Thank you so
brother.
much.
My pleasure. Respect and love, baby.
All right.
Yes, sir.